All right. All right. Hold up. This. All right. We're gonna talk about whatever the fuck angel numbers is, and that's what today's gonna be about. What even are angel numbers, and how do we know where they came from? That's the question. How in the world do we actually know what angel numbers are? Do we know where they came from? Doing research into angel numbers, it's made up by someone that says that they aren't real. So that's something to look at. This is not to say that anyone is wrong for letting numbers give off a angelic vibe, but it's just to get your brain moving to see if you really even believe in what that means, or if you're just following something that someone else has said. Because there's questions to be had about the whole phenomenon of angel numbers. Who, like, first of all, which angels govern which numbers, and how is that determined? Moving on from that point, how are angels using the numbers? People want to say like, oh, it's just like confirmation for things. Are you positive? And if they angel numbers, what about demon numbers? How do you tell the difference between angel numbers and demon numbers? Because you definitely aren't getting angel numbers all the time, and if you are, who are you to be getting them all the time? People just hear the term angel number, they go with it. I see all the people all the time type 2222. What does that mean? Is that 8? Is that 88? What is that? What does that mean? I don't know. Because I'm not you. And I know that in the past I did the angel number stuff, but now I look at it as like, nah, this ain't it. Because what is this truly? What truly is it? What does it mean? Why does it mean that? Where does that come from? From which science does that number mean this in? That's what I got to figure out. That's what I want to know. Because you have people saying that, oh, it's angel number 444. What does that mean? How are you looking at that? That could be 16 broke down to 7. That could be 4 to the fourth power of 4. How are we doing this? What notation are we using? And again, what angel rules that number? And how do you dictate these things? Who told you about angel numbers? And did they describe to you what they were? Or were you just met with, oh, don't worry about that. That's a stupid question. They're angel numbers. They're sent by your angels. Then who are my angels? And why do they rule these numbers? And why do I not only get those numbers? If my angels are sending them to me and those angels rule those numbers, then why am I getting other numbers? What the fuck are those popping up for? Or are you saying that my angels are sending those other numbers over that are other angels, or what? And these are just logical questions to figure out what that point is, what the point of these things are. Does it confirm for you or does it not? Like, you know, we got to ask these questions. People don't want to in the spiritual community. They just want to hear it and just move on with their life. But it's like, why? What's the science behind them? And with the science of them, are there any experiments that you can take to deliberately create those angel numbers to appear, to rapidly see them, or to increase the sighting of a specific number? Or is it just something that's quote unquote random when we know nothing in this world is random and everything happens for a specific reason? So, with that being said, if angel numbers were created, they were created for a specific reason. What was that reason? Was it really guidance, or was it to lead people astray, or to get people to focus on other things, or to put more power to a word of faith rather than a word of doing? You gotta, these are serious things you gotta ask, because you got people walking around saying things. They just tell them the time. What does that mean? How does that how does that all correlate? And why would it need to correlate? What creates that correlation? Because I don't want to just hear an angel number being like, oh, it's just 444 or it's 555. Okay, what is that? What does that mean? What is that? What angel is that? And if you can't answer that question, then you got a problem on your hands, because now you don't know what angel's sending that to you, or what demon's sending that to you, or whatever entity's sending that to you, or whatever your brain doing that it was told to do, probably not even by you. You got to ask yourself these things. As long as it makes sense to you and you have the facts, and it's not just you putting it into belief or just being ignorant or ignoring the fact of a truth in there, you know, then that's good. But you don't want to be lost on this spiritual journey. You need to be able to find your way around stuff. If angel numbers were a thing, then why is there no historical record of those angel numbers being there? There are numbers that represent divinity, but throughout those records, I have not yet found those that same logic going behind the power of numbers with angels. That's a new age concept. So you got to ask yourself, what are the new age spirits? What are they doing? What are they trying to do? But I mean, like, again, like, it's specific things. And if you do know these things, then tell me, then say it. Why would you hold a secret back when someone's knocking and asking that question and waiting for that reply? If you truly know, just answer. But that's a hard thing for people to do in this day and age. They don't want to admit that they don't know. They don't want to admit that, oh, it's just because it's what I believe. Well, why do you lie to yourself? Why are you being a lie to yourself in that word, in that frame, in that sentence? That's what you're saying. I'm just lying to myself. It's okay. Why? Something that people don't want to look at. It's something that people don't really want to look at. They just like to hear a good message, and then they use association by using those numbers of association to make them feel better. But why do you need to associate it with that? Why can't you just feel good verbatim? Why does a number have to tell you something? Why have you programmed yourself to see the world in that way? What good does that do for you, truly? Oh, I didn't see this number today, so that means I must not be doing good. Or I didn't see this number whenever I made a choice, so that means I must have made the wrong choice. But how many times have you made the wrong choice, and then you see an angel number, think you've done something right, and it not work out, and you just like, oh, well, not everything can work. Well, no, not everything can work, but if by your logic of seeing that number means that things are gonna work, then why did they not continue to work? That's all that's all you got to look at. There's experiments you can run on this stuff. There are experiments to the end of time that you can run on this stuff to figure out if it's real or not. But people don't want to be a scientist anymore. They don't want to figure out what's really going on. And again, if anyone has these answers, feel free to talk about it. Let's get to the bottom of it. You talking to someone or you found someone that wants to find that truth and is really going to try and find that truth. So you got to ask yourself, are you ready to find the truth? Even if you don't know, ask a question. Let's talk about it. Let's try and make some sense out of it. It's not to discredit an experience, but it's to bring logic into things. Because did you know that the human mind can misremember things and create memories of its own? So you'd be remembering things wrong as well. So you got to make sure you're in the right state, the right state of not the right state of mind, the right state of everything. So are you in the right state of mind when you see in those signs that you say are angel numbers? Or are you in the wrong state of mind because you're not able to make the difference of whether it is or is not what you think it is? That's what you got to make sure of, because your brain will fuck you up. Your brain will trick you. So is your brain pulling tricks on you back and forth whenever you see a so-called angel number to make you feel? Note the words "make you feel." It's making you. It's forcing you to feel as if that thing is real that you're looking at, or is it just a self-defense mechanism that's protecting you from seeing any other? Have you like convinced yourself of something that isn't real and experiencing a placebo effect, or what you're doing is real? That's what you got to figure out. And angel numbers is one of those things where people want to talk about it, but they don't have the rules for it. They don't have what it actually is. And if you try and talk about it, it's like, oh, you're just a non-believer. Yeah, I am a non-believer. I don't believe in shit. There's things I know, there's things I don't know. I refuse to believe in stuff. I will seek out that answer. And I don't want no smart asses coming up trying to act like they know some shit when they really don't. I've had to deal with a few of those already. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here for you to give me an answer based off of how you believe and what you concur. What experiments have you done to prove those things? That's all I gotta ask. So when it comes down to angel numbers, what are you really doing? What is it? Okay. Well, what does that angel spirit have to do with angel numbers? What does that have to do with angel numbers? That's my question to you. Are they sending you numbers to pay attention to, or is it something else? That's all I gotta know. That's all I gotta ask. Because it's important to know. It really is important to know. Make sure that you know yourself. Are you following the right things, or are you following the wrong things? Okay, but that still don't answer my question though. That I asked you. That still don't answer the question. So I'm gonna reply to that. Because you said they just send you signs. Are they sending you signs to numbers? Because if not, then what you said was irrelevant to what I was talking about. I mean, it's super important. It very much is important. Because if you're not following, then I don't know what's going on. Because like if the spiritual community wants to move forward in any way, shape, or form, it's got to be asked these questions. It's got to cut this bullshit out. The majority of the spiritual community gets sucked in these like loopholes and these silly things, and they don't realize their whole life about to fall apart because they depended on the clock telling a specific time, or they just waiting for their brain to make a specific connection that they force upon themselves. Because then we get into the category of numbers only go 1 through 9. 9 is the highest number. There's no other symbol that we have to represent a number higher than 9. Everything else is a compound symbol. So when you see 3, and then you see 33, what is 33? Why does that have a new meaning? Well, how do they get your attention with numbers specifically? What do they do with that? How does that warn you? Is it a system that you made up for yourself, or is it a system that already exists? Because I'm not trying to say it don't exist. I'm just trying to figure out how it works. I'm playing the role of the student, but people don't want to play the role of the teacher. They don't want to be able to explain things like, "Oh, this is how my guys taught," because they afraid of something. I don't know what they're afraid of though. That's why I'm asking these questions. So you're hyperfixating on numbers, is what you're saying. Because if you're just saying, if it's first your angels are telling you, and then you're autistic, is it your angels are giving it to you, or is it just your autism picking up on it, making you see those numbers? That's the question I gotta ask now. Because autism and your angels don't have any connection. That's not like a thing. So which one is it? Because that's what you gotta ask yourself now. So then your angels don't communicate with you through numbers. So I don't know why you just I don't know what's going on here now. Because from what you said it doesn't mean anything. It just means that you have to connect. It just means that it gets your attention. So it's not coming from your angels then. If it doesn't have a meaning from it, then you can't say your angels and your guides are sending it to you because then it would have a meaning behind it. What's going on there for you is your autism is picking up on those numbers and you're hyperfixating on those numbers. That's what's going on with that. Because again, if these numbers that people say are angel numbers had a meaning, they would not change. There would be a rule book for it. It wouldn't have to have so many different meanings for different numbers. And whenever a number would be multiplied, like 33 or 333 or 3,333, would that just be an amplification? Why does it change what it means? Why is it not just an amplification of it? Why is it not that number and then how many times that number is repeated to mean to equal that meaning? You see what I mean? There's mathematics behind it. There's a system behind everything, but that system is not known. If that system is not known, then there's no current. If there's no current, it's not possibly able to have any form of current in it. That's the same thing with money. That money needs a current in it to be currency, to be valid. If there's no current, it's not valid. If there's no connector and traveling through those 2 points, it's not valid. So these are the things you got to look at. These quote unquote spiritual leaders won't tell you these things though. They don't want you to think like this because a lot of them are puppeteers of the devil. So they won't explain these things. They'll just jump on the board like, "Oh, this is your angel number," and it's fine. It ain't saying that it's wrong, but does it make you feel good knowing that this has no system to it, and that at any day, the angel number that you're seeing could just have an opposite meaning and tear you down, and then everything else tears down with that because of that same meaning that you invited in. That's the importance of what we got to get to because we have to know what reality we're living in. We're all not living the same reality. There could be some people who straight up live every day off angel numbers and they know how that system works between them and the angels and they could explain everything. And there's other people that just don't do angel numbers at all and they sit and they work with the angels and stuff the same way that anyone else would. There's some people that don't even work with the angels and they still get those numbers as some form of confirmation and they got a whole system working. But it's about, do you have a system to allow it to make sense to you, or are you just seeing those things and then adding correlation from seeing it to what someone else told you? You gotta know these things for your own sake, not for anyone else's sake, but for your own sake. Because it's your life. See, you don't gotta do nothing with it. Honestly, you don't have to. But if you want to get truth, if you want to find truth, if you want to stay in truth, okay. So how do you know that it's not just the autism clicking in for that? Where your brain has already set up a pattern of if you're slacking off too much, see this, and it's not just a reminder of you and how you spend in your time. How do you know that your brain hasn't automatically logged in when it hits specific times to look at your phone or look at a clock or look around to see those numbers? Your subconscious scans all around you at all times. So if you're told, look out for the number 333, look out for that number, and then all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere, it's because subconsciously you log that in. And your subconscious is constantly looking for that. Especially if it's on your forefront of your mind, on your conscious or preconscious. Angels aren't annoyances, angels are messengers. If you're being annoyed by it, then it's not your angels. It's your brain. You're describing to me exactly what's going on. Angels do not annoy you. Angels would rather not even bother people at all. They just want to give you the message and dip. And that's what they're doing. So if you're getting annoyed by it and you say they're annoying it by you, those are demons. They purposely making you focus on those things. It's probably a demon. Your angels won't force you to do anything. They know you have free will. They're not going to take over your body and make you do certain things. That's what a demon would do. So now you're just lying to me. Now I don't know what's going on with you. Are you lying to me or telling the truth? Because now I can't get real with you now. Because then you said you don't know why it happens, and you say it's Archangel Michael, and it's an on-running joke. Is that well? Are you lying to me or telling the truth now? I don't know. How do you know it's Michael? That's what I gotta ask you. These things you gotta get real. You have to know these things. How do you know it's Michael? How do you know it's an on-running joke? Is it because someone told you that, or is it because you actually know? Have you ran your own experiments on it? Because the whole point of spirituality is finding that truth, is finding that knowing. So you got to know what spirit's coming through you. So then you don't know if it's your angel sending you that number. You don't know if it's Archangel Michael doing that or not. So you just don't know because that's what you're telling me. So you just don't know. Don't try and defend yourself if you don't know something. Just admit that you don't know it. It makes things a lot easier. Don't fight yourself on that. So I'm just asking you questions to figure out what's going on. Most people don't even have the power to ask themselves these questions. They just see this happen. It's like, oh my god, it has to be real. Are you positive? Illusions exist. When that magician makes that coin disappear, it never disappeared. It's behind his damn thumb the whole time. It's on the back of his palm the whole time. Does that mean that that coin disappeared? No, it just not. It just wasn't in your vision. It was an illusion. So you got to make sure you're not pulling your own jokes on your own self because of things that other people have told you. You have to make sure of that. Right. So why are you saying that Archangel Michael is sending you those numbers? Because that would incentive that would literally mean that he's sending you an angel number. He is Archangel Michael, not an angel via the name. So why would he be sending you numbers as an angel? Would that not make that an angel number? Again, I pay attention to how people talk and what words they use. And again, it's not to discredit anything. We just got to get to the bottom of it. How do you know it's Archangel Michael? How do you know that it's getting your attention, or are you just focusing on it? Is that number actively reaching out to you, or are you just noticing it? Because if you're noticing it, then you're bringing attention to it. But if it reaches out to you, then it's finding you. That's what you got to pay attention to. Do you get a thought to, oh, maybe I should stop and look around, and then you look around and see that number? Because that could be a subconscious uh, action that's going on, making you stop and pause and look around because your brain automatically knows it's about to be this time. You might want to look around. You just got to make sure that you're sound in yourself with these things so you don't get gapped up by them. Angel numbers are not a thing. Angel numbers aren't real. I'm gonna just have to bust that bubble real quick. Angel numbers aren't real. I have never received an angel's number. I've received their glyphs, not their numbers. They don't got numbers. They got glyphs. If you can't explain it, then it's not. Then you don't know what's going on. It's not your personal connection. If you can't explain how you and Michael work, then you might not be working with Michael. Have you ever sat down and talked to him and asked, how do we work together? And how do you again know that it's Michael? These things you just can't say I don't know to. That's how you open your doors up to anything walking in. A demon, a trickster, whatever the fuck could walk in the name of Michael. But because you're not testing that spirit, as you said, you just don't know, it could be anything. Lying to you, saying that it's Michael. Just like any person can lie to you, that lie comes from a spirit inside that person. That same spirit can go inside of you and lie to yourself. He's been your best friend. Okay. If you, how you can you contact Michael right now? Can you contact Archangel Michael right now? I know a few questions I can ask to prove if you talk to Michael or not. Can you talk to Michael right now? Can you pull him up? Can you get a hold of him? Because I got a few questions to ask him through you, if that's okay. Because I want to get down to the bottom of it. Because if you say you know, let me see if you know. For your own sake. Because you don't, because you got to make sure you know. Only through birds and numbers. So you can't contact him at all. He has to contact you. You have no way of talking to him. He just shows you stuff and that's it. You don't talk to him. You can't talk to him. You can't pull him down. If you his best friend, you have immediate contact with him. Would I be wrong? So can you call him down and ask him so I can ask him if it's okay if I ask him a few questions through you so I can test that spirit in you to make sure that it is Michael or if it's not. Because you won't test him. And you won't let me let you test him. And only a coward would duck that. Only a devil would tuck that. So I just want to make sure. Why do you think anyone else would laugh when I'm talking to you and I'm not laughing? That's again something inside your mind telling you that. So are you positive? Again, you're ducking the question that I'm asking you directly. If you best friends with Michael, Archangel Michael, can you pull him up right now so I can ask him a question and have you be the medium or the person in between to respond for Michael to see if you're really talking to Michael or not for your own sake. Depends on the person you're getting them from, Tanaya. There are ways that numbers can be related to cycles, which is why the number only system goes up to 9 to represent the feminine, or the 9 months or the 9 stages it takes for birth to go through. So there's those numbers. But as far as angel numbers, I'm not too sure. And that all depends on who you go into and how they get in them numbers. Emily, you're still not answering my question. It does not make sense why you would believe that you telling me that you don't understand, but then you're trying to explain it, and then you keep saying that you don't know. So that doesn't make sense. Why would you try to explain something that you still don't know yourself? And again, if you're gonna talk to Michael and say that he's your best friend, can you pull him up right now so that we can ask him a few questions? Because if he's your best friend, you should have him on speed dial. You should be able to go, Michael, I need to talk to you. And he'll be like, what's up? Because I just got to make sure people know what they're talking about. Numerology is the science of number. So yeah, numerology is what you'd be more looking into. Angel numbers is a hoax. Numerology has sciences to back it up. Angel numbers don't. Most ways people even talk about angels or angel numbers don't have any form of like actual backing to it. It's just people saying stuff to say stuff. If you talk to him, can you tell him that I have a few questions to ask him, and can he respond to you so you can give me the answer? I'm just gonna wait for a response. That's all. You talk to him all day. Okay, so talk to him right now, and tell him I want to ask him 3 questions. Is that okay? If you talk to him every day, all day, ask him if I can ask him 3 questions through you right now. If you can, if I can ask him 3 questions, and then you would tell me those answers through him. Ask him. I don't care what you. I want the word from Michael. Ask Archangel Michael right now if he can come to you, and I can ask him 3 questions, and then you reply to the, and then you respond to those questions, so that we know what's going on with this. So I'm going to ask questions that only Archangel Michael would know. And no worries, Tiana. I get that. Okay, well, as I don't care if you can ask him. I need Michael to give the okay because I don't want to answer from you. I want to answer from Michael that you translate over to me through text. Because if you're talking to Michael, then you got to be the mouthpiece for Michael. Depends on if you know how to use them or however you programmed them cards or programmed yourself to see those cards. Depends on that. Depends on if they're actually talking about the real angels or the fake ones or the fallen ones or however. Okay, ask Michael. Did you ask Michael if it's cool if I ask him 3 questions? That's what I'm waiting on. Can you agree? Okay. My first question is, what are 3 other names that Michael has? That's my first question. What are 3 names, other names that Michael goes by? Ask Michael directly. You do not go by no damn Mike. I don't know what the hell you talking about. I think they need to scroll up in the stream some more because they way behind. If I could type that in the chat, I would. If someone could tell Emily to fast forward in the stream because she's way behind if she's not answering that question. I don't know if she's up to date or not though. It just seems like she might be behind on stream delay, so she needs to fast forward the stream up. Yeah, hold up. I need to just get on my other phone. Ain't no one else gonna do it. I should have just took that to my own initiative. Because she way behind. I don't think she's even up to date on the stream. Cause ain't no one else gonna do it. I gotta do it myself. All right, there we go. Now wait for a response for her when she catches up. I don't know why people like rewind in the stream. It's always gonna be here. They can just rewatch it. Yeah, names, not titles. Names, not titles, but names. Titles are different than names. You got a lot of both. This right here is how you test spirits. This is how you test spirits. You got to do studying. You got to know. You got to put it to the test. Seek and ye will find. Seek and ye will find. Did you catch up? Are you on the right tempo now, Emily? Are we caught up, or are you still lagged behind a bit? Cause I got time. You're all good, Emily. You're all good. If you can hear me tell you that it's all good, just say that you can hear me say you all good, and then we'll know if you're up the stream or not. Technology's fun, ain't it? And Tiana, that was the question. I don't really care. I don't care too much about the spelling. If it sounds like you spelt it right, it's good. But if you can get the spelling, that 1000% proves it. But if you can only get the phonetics, then you only hear in Michael faintly. There's not a full connection, but there is some there. You got it. But I don't mean for this to be like a mean thing either. If people think that I'm like being mean or whatever, you got the wrong judgment. I'm trying to make sure people are safe out here. This is how you literally test a damn spirit. I'm doing my job is as a seeker, as an angel, to test this shit. Not just to believe it and move on with my life. I gotta test this shit. Because if it don't make sense, if it don't add up, it don't add up. Goodness gracious. Those are titles, not names. Anything in EL is a placement of God. And the letterings and the words that come before the EL give a position, which is their title. And Israel, I don't even think that's even an angel. I think that might be a mispronunciation of Uriel. Don't I got that? Well, I did. I don't know if it. I might actually hold up. I might. It might be up in this. Let me check my notes real quick. Oh, I zipped it up. Damn. I might have it up in here. No, I don't because I forgot these are only the calls. You can hear me? So those aren't the names of Michael. Those are the titles of Michael. I didn't ask for the titles, and those aren't even titles of Michael. I was looking for names. So I don't know if you're talking to Michael or not. As someone that studies the angels and has the resources and goes through and tests, I've never in my life seen those names of Michael. So are you really talking to Michael? I gotta say, I don't know. No, because I'm pretty sure you just put Michael and Uriel. I'm pretty sure that's all you did. Thinking about it, looking at the spelling, sounding it out. So I don't know. I don't think you're talking to Michael. I don't know who you're talking to, but they would have gave you the names of Michael. I mean, I can give you names of Michael. Tahuti is a name of Michael. Marduk is a name of Michael. Mikael is another. I would have accepted Mikael, even though that's a title of Michael. The Merkaba Melchizedek are also names of Michael. But the the misspelling of Uriel and Mekel would just be Mikael instead. You didn't give a name of Michael. But my second question for Michael, it shouldn't feel hard if you're put on the spot. If you're talking to Michael, Michael should tell you the answer, and then you just give it on, and you should give the answer that Michael directly gave you. The pressure's not on you. The pressure's on Michael. So are you thinking about these names and not talking to Michael? But my second question is, who is Michael's brother? What's one of Michael's brothers? That's my second question. Just ask Michael. Don't worry about what you think. If you're talking to Archangel Michael, talk to him and say, Archangel Michael, what is one of your brother's names? The pressure's not on you. If you talk to Michael, you should be able to answer. Michael should be able to answer and tell you exactly what to say. He should be able to be around you. And if you get ungrounded, you should be able to ask Michael to ground you so that you can give these answers. You know what I mean? You gotta know these things. You should be doing these things to make sure everything is going smoothly when you do work with these beings, and that the portal's not just open, letting whatever the heck in and out. But yeah, second question: what is one of Michael's brothers? Well, what people don't understand is like when they say Michael's with them, they would be saying they're a descendant of Michael, either by birth, by bloodline, or by a relative. Don't look the names up. It got nothing to do with you. You have to know. You have to know. By Michael's wisdom you have to know, not by Google's wisdom. I mean, another name for Michael is Yanun. Mikael is also known as Yanun and Melchizedek. The King of Salem and King of Peace are also titles for him. His names can also be pronounced as Mihail or Mikael. Exactly. These are things you just have to know. Like either through working through them or finding that golden egg, that golden ticket. But I will know by the third question for sure if you're talking to Michael or not, because the third question it is it is imperative to know when working with Michael to know like what you're drawing down and what element you're really working with. Melchior, Melchior, or Melchior. I'm not too sure who that is. I've never heard that one before. I don't know if that ch is supposed to be a a gh Melchior, because that would sound a little bit more familiar, but still not on top with the K sound. Melch. Okay, Melchior. I don't know. It don't sound like it. It don't sound like no. It does not sound like anything I heard. So I don't know. That's my answer. Is I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. Daniel? No. His brothers are Uriel and Gibrael or Jibrael or Gabriel or Urashel. Urashel, I think, is another way of saying Uriel or Uriel. Some people say Archangel Uriel as well. My third question for Michael. My third question for Archangel Michael is which ray of the divine will of God is he co-holder of? Because that's a specific question. Now, I do want to preface this because I don't want you feeling bad. This might be the one time you're not talking to Michael. That's what I got. That's also what I gotta say. Maybe you just not talking to Michael right now. Maybe there's too much interference in your body to talk to Michael right now. You know what I mean? So don't let this make you immediately think that, oh, you're not talking to Michael all the time. Just know how you feel or the feelings or what you're doing in this moment and know that this is not how you talk with Michael. There is a way, and this is just how you test this stuff so that you don't slip up later on. So don't take this as like a bashing or a hazing or none of that shit. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm giving you tools, I'm giving you resources so that you know how to talk to Michael. So don't take this as me being mean to you. Don't take this as me bashing you, and don't take this as like you're not ever talking to Michael. Just know that we're in this energy now. Focus on this even after, and be like, you know what? This is how I don't channel Michael. This is how I don't talk with Michael. So how do I know that when I'm talking to Michael is when I'm not feeling like this? But then again, even then, go further. Test it. Get a sign. Be like, if Michael is here with me, give me a sign. And if you don't get a sign that is specific to what you're asking for, then you know what I mean. Like these are tools that you need to have as a spiritualist. These are tools you know how to use and hone, so you're not tricked on this journey. And you have to know these things, man. It's for your own safety. I care enough to give y'all these tools. I do, but you can't give these tools out without some form of example. So I do want to lighten up whatever load you may be feeling if you are feeling one, Emily, and let you know that you're on the right path though. Because you're the only one that stood up and wanted to see. So you on the right path and you're doing what you gotta do. So don't let this be like a bad experience. This is a beautiful experience to let you know that you're doing the right thing. Because you became brave and tested that spirit. That's good. So don't take this in any sort of bad way, shape, or form. This is literally a growth for you. Don't worry. Don't let it tear you down or make you panic or whatever. This is showing people, and it's even showing you it's not too late, and that now that you know or now that you see these things, you can move forward in a brighter way. That's it. That's literally it. It is not to tear anyone down. I don't That's the rough part about doing this shit though, because you don't want to do this stuff because then someone just gets teared down and pushed away. No, don't get discouraged. You are not gonna get everything right unless you are doing it right. And how do you know if you're doing it right if you don't test it? The chair, you won't know if that chair is broken or not until you sit on it. And if it don't fall apart and let you hit the floor, then it's not broken. But if it breaks apart and you hit the floor, then it's broken. Or if it's wobbly, then it's not fixed right. That's all this is getting that spiritual connection stronger so that you know at the end of the day what you're doing. And everyone needs to know that. There are even me, I test my damn spirits day in, day out. I need to make sure of something. I don't care if I get the same sign 5 different times in a day. I'm gonna ask another 6 or 7 times just to make sure. Is this who I'm really talking to? Yeah, I got you, Emily. Which ray of the divine will of God does Michael co-own? And I said ray as in Ray, correct. Third ray, no. This one I learned through deep, unforgettable meditations with Michael. I had my ass screamed at by that man. Okay, good, Emily. I'm glad that you're seeing it from that way. I just want to make sure that that's what's being known. I want to be transparent in my purpose behind this, and I'm glad that you're taking it that way. So don't let this. Don't I mean again, like you said, you don't do this around people. That's perfectly fine. Not many people are brave enough to do what you do. So feel proud. Just be good. You got this for real. So I'm proud of you for not letting a spirit of detriment come through to you and try and tear you down like that. That says you got a lot of strength inside of you by default. So keep moving down that path. And sun ray, what number ray would that be then? If we're gonna say it's the sun ray, well, first I can say no because uh Michael the element of air, not fire. But what number would that ray be? Tonight you're on the right path, but archangels own or co-own a specific ray of God's will, which is what is before their name. So Mika, everything that relates with Mika would be for that. For no. I can see how you got that though. I can see how you get that. I don't know if this has anything to do with what you were thinking, Palm Angel, but you might be picking up on Malachi chapter 4 too. I don't know if that has anything to do with with where you got 4 from, but I think you are picking up on Malachi chapter 4 too. That's what I think you're picking up on. I think that's where you get the 4:2. That's Malachi. That Malachi chapter 4:2. The son or king of righteousness. Malachi chapter 4:2. Hold up. Let me look up Malachi 4:2 for y'all, and I'll read that out real quick. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. That's probably where you're getting it from. That's saying that those that fear the name of God, Michael shall rise up and go forth. That does not mean that Michael's going to smite you, but Michael's going to show you the path of righteousness. He's going to show you what you need to do with the healing wings, and you will be raised as calf. You will be treated as a child, as a baby, and shown the right path. For those that fear God's name, you're not supposed to fear God. You're supposed to be in a loving pairship with God. There should be no fear involved. But that's what that's talking about. But are you still getting the answer, Emily, or do you want me to just say it? Because I can if need be. If you're still getting it, we can definitely wait a little bit longer. I got time. How was my day? My day's gone very well. The Ray is the first Ray. He co-owns the first Ray of the divine will of God with as a bug El and El Morra Moria. Excuse me, yeah, Moria. He holds it on the behalf of angelic kingdoms. The first ray of the divine will of God is about power, non-detachment, and that sort of light energy. So anything to cut or detach things, anything to do with force and power, that is Michael's ray. But he rules the first. But yeah, I do want to preface this though, since we are on the topic of angels. I am working on a complete grimoire or like notes on the angels, especially the archangels. It might take me a while longer than I'm thinking, honestly, because I'm going in deep depth with it. Um, and that will be out eventually, but that is something I've been working on for a while. Speaking of that, I pulled up. I'm pretty sure someone said Hanael, didn't they? I gotta scroll up in chat for a minute. Because now that I even mentioned that, it literally hit my brain that Hanael is Gabriel. How's it coming along with the tarot card charts? The tarot card charts are very close to being finished. I have the demo of it basically finished. I want to make it look neat. So I'm on the journey making it look neat. After that, it's going to be done. But I basically have it done. I have a new font for it and everything. I'm not going to keep the same font. I don't really want to keep the same font. So that expect that probably honestly by Monday. I'm not even gonna lie. By Monday, expect that chart by Monday because it is like basically finished now. One of the charts is finished. The other charts I'm gonna have as shit, let me think about the other charts because the other charts would just be like the major arcana because the main chart that I'm working on is the minor arcana and its elements. The second chart would be the major arcana and its elements and modalities and stuff. So those are almost finished. Those are very close to being finished. It would have moved on a lot faster if I didn't lose a lot of my notes during homelessness. I had literally 4 folders full of shit, and then they all got thrown away. And that's exactly why we test these spirits, Emily. It's not the fact that you don't talk to Michael. It was just in that instance, the voice that was telling you 6 was not Michael. It might have been the loudest voice, or it might have been the voice that had the most force or power. But if you would have said 1 first, then Michael was talking to you first. You know, if your guess truly was 1, then yeah, Michael was talking to you. But there was another entity at the same time talking to you. So that's the importance of testing your spirits so that you know if that outside or secondary or tertiary voice that you're hearing isn't mimicking the original voice that you hear. You know, that's how trickster spirits work. But the fact that you even said that your first guess would have been Michael means that you do have some form of connection with Michael. You know, this is it because when you work with these angels, they import or they upload information to you about them by default. So you should or so you already know certain things, or certain things are just click and make sense. You know, it would be like, oh, that's common sense. That makes So that's how they would work with you. So that it's about cleaning that system. So we got down to that point with you. I'm glad that we were able to do this. So now you know kind of like that feeling or that voice or one of the voices and one of the feelings that go against you working with Michael. So there is a tool for you that you have personally yourself experienced. So you can have you're gonna have the most benefit out of anyone here with it. So good for you, honestly, truly, and everyone else. Y'all got the other experience of it, and this is literally what spiritual teachers need to be doing. And there goes my candle flicker and my ancestor on my altar looking at me like I'm a fucking freak making my candles flick. Just kidding. I talk to my ancestors weird like that, but it allows you to know like what you're doing, so that whenever you want to talk to these angels or talk to these beings or receive a sign from these angels, now you know. This is not saying that Michael's number is 1. It's just saying he rules the first ray. I I don't know what Michael's number is. Do I know what Michael's sigils and glyphs are? Definitely. But to know that, you need to know the 39 symbols on the inner ring of the Stargate. Do I know all of them? Kinda, not really. Do I have an image of them? Low quality, but yes. But when you work with these angels or however, it's important to use their sigil or their calling signs. That's what they're known as. If you don't have their glyphs, or that would be their telephone number, that's what you got to do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically. But also, to kind of go back to the dimension thing I was talking about, you would use glyphs. The fifth dimension, if you know of it, you talk telepathically through glyphs. So that's what that was about. So, uh, it's it's Dr. Malachi's one of his albums called Nubian Thoughts. I played a lot. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me in a very upbeat mode. But yeah, that's what you're hearing. I mean, I don't know. Some people do think that I'm just a big denier of things because I ask questions, and that's not at all what I'm doing. I'm literally just asking questions because I want to help someone. I know other people got questions, so let me ask you a question so we can both answer our questions together and do what we're supposed to do and not fight and argue and blah 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 all day long. Like we're supposed to like question each other, not out of anger, but out of like, do you know what you're doing? Because I don't know what I'm doing in some places, and if you know what you're doing, I want to learn from you. But if I know something you don't know, and you know something I don't know, we need to figure that out. We need to work together because you might have a major key for me, and I might have a major key for you because this could have went a completely different way. Maybe you could have given me all the answers correctly, and I would have just been like, "Damn, okay, so how do you talk to Michael in order for other people to know how to talk to Michael as well as you do?" Because obviously, if you had those answers, you know what I mean. So this is just that. This is just that training that we put ourselves through. It's a very beautiful thing at the end of the day. But don't let people make you think. And if people start saying that you're just a big denier and you're stupid, and if you knew this and that, then you wouldn't be questioning. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm a scientist at the end of the day. A scientist is going to know that this reaction is going to happen, but he's going to put another hypothesis in there just to see if it's going to happen again or if it was under certain conditions. That's just it. That's what you got to make sure. And if it was under certain conditions, can you put yourself in that condition permanently to allow that same reaction to happen if it's beneficial? That's what we also got to find out. You're good, Emily. See, because at the end of the day, I didn't even disprove you. I proved you right as well. You know what I mean? So I'm proud to be part of this with you. I'm really glad that you decided to do this. You answered a calling that you weren't probably even aware of at first. And though yes, it's nerve wracking. I'm not here to attack you. I'm not here to make you feel a certain way or whatever. I just want to make sure you know what you're doing so that when you leave this space, you're not confused about what you're doing. So now you know, like, oh shit, Michael has talked to me. You know what I mean? Second guessing yourself is a definite thing. That is exactly where the terms like don't second guess yourself comes from. You know, deep down inside, like you say, yes, you talk to Michael every day. You've talked to Michael. I can't say for every day because I haven't tested you every day, and I'm not going to. That's for you to do now, right? But you have that contact with Michael because you wouldn't have known these things without that contact. That's how you know it, is because Michael has like instilled this into you, whether it's through a light code or whatever you want to say. It was instilled through you. It was installed into your system, and you just inherently knew. That's the beauty of it. But you can't know this shit till someone tests you, and it's terrifying to test people because you can really fuck up someone's life with that. Which is why you got to be very careful with it. Which is why I wasn't like I was like, that's why I said, I'm patient. We got all the time in the world. I'm not gonna be upset. Even if you said no, it would have been like, okay, cool, no worries. Maybe you just don't want to test today. That's fine. It's whatever. But I'm glad again, I'm very glad that we got to have this experience because this is an eye opener for everyone. It really is. It does not matter what or who's going on. It allows you to see things and people in new ways. And that's the beauty of it, you know. So thank you, Emily, for allowing yourself for that experience to happen. That's what I'll say. And that's all I can say, really. Because it doesn't really change anything within me, but it's going to, and it will change a lot within you. And that's what I'm here to do, is to incite that change in a very uplifting, optimistic way, because that's how we make shit move in this world. But of course, I'm literally just doing my job. And that's it. What I came here to do is what I'm doing. And this is why I love doing what I do, because it really just it either connects you closer to what you need to be to, or it removes you from what you don't need to be to. Or it does both. Or none. Depends on who you are. But thank you for being willing. And don't forget to thank yourself for being willing too, because it takes an agreement between you and yourself to move forward in that way. And that tells tales of strength, of bravery. So don't ever think that you know that, oh, I can't do this. You literally tested a spirit within you, found out what the real one was, found out what the fake one was, and now can move better. You can do whatever you want. Don't let this, like, I don't give a fuck who's here. Like, genuinely, just allow yourself to have that freedom. And again, I don't know everything. So I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna. You can't just like email me and be like, test me on this. I don't know everything. I only know what I know. That's why I be asking questions all the time, because I want to know if there's anyone else that knows things, which there are. But I want to know if it's reasonable or not. That's all. Exactly. That is one of the greatest qualities to have as someone. And again, like, I just want the damn truth. I've been alive less time than a lot of people here. I just want the truth. And if I want the truth, I know how bad other people want the truth too. So I don't know why it was given to me. I don't question why it was given to me. All I know is that I've come across stuff that has truth in it, and that I've tested out and it's gone true, and that's just what I do. So, am I going to question it? No, because if I want truth and I want to help people, I'm gonna help people find some form of truth, even if they don't accept it at the beginning of it. I don't care. As long as I'm doing my job and moving forward with it, I'll be happy. That's just it. It's not about having conflict or debating people. I just want people to grow, heal, and evolve and know themselves or know what's going on within themselves. Checks and balances, exactly. But yeah, I feel like this stream was a very beneficial one. Things went very well in this. So on that note, I will be disappearing again. And hopefully I'll be coming back again later. Like later. It might be like 2 in the dang morning on my end when I come back. But I got a few extra things to do. What's the deeper meaning of the number angel number 888? I don't know. I can tell you by hold up. Hold up. Because again, for me, I don't have a knowing in angel numbers. I'll see the number 888 and either think it's 8 to the eighth power of 8 or 8 plus 8 plus 8, and that equals 6. And 6 is the spiritual senses or the higher senses of a being. So your telepathy, your clairvoyance, your clairs, things like that, the feeling of energies and things like that. That's what I would compare it to. Or 8 to the eighth to the eighth power, which is 512, which oddly enough breaks down to 8. Um, I would compare that just to the movement. 8 is a number of motion. Um, it is the time to act. It's a very actionatory number. People see it as like the limnus scat. It also can mean achievement. 8 can also mean in a sense of victory because of the achievement aspect of it. It can mean a meeting point or a grounding point for two sides because 8 is not really infinity. It's two circles meeting together. But that's how I would see it. So it would all depend on how you see the numerology in 8. But I would look up the numerology of 888 instead, which I'm not too sure of that because again I would either break that down to a 6 or an 8 to get that answer, which I gave the numerology for those. But again, like that again, you got to break through that fear though. Because you got to really ask yourself, what's more terrifying, me knowing that who I'm talking to is that angel, is that terrifying to me, or is it more terrifying to me to not know if that is or not? And to me, it's way more terrifying to not know than to know. So you always have to combat that fear with the logical question. What's better, knowing or not knowing? Well, I would rather know, so that even if I am wrong, and I know that I'm wrong in that future tense, I can at least correct myself. You know, and that's growth though. That takes a lot of strength. That takes a lot of bravery. A lot. So yeah, it's not for everyone, but it's for those that are the brave and the few. But I'm gonna head out. I will be back later. If anyone has, any questions, you can email me or comment them down under the video or the live, and I'll respond to them if I have an answer. If I don't respond to it, I most likely don't have an answer to it. So there's your answer for that. But I'm gonna head out. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate love each and every one of you. Peace in the Lamb. It has been truly wonderful. Hadus Ashok Wadu.